Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're so happy that you're all here. So thank you for joining us for our first official live coaching call of 2023. In a few moments, the founder of Unplug, Suze, will be coming on. And my name is Jelena, and I'll be here moderating the chat box. So if you have any questions, you can add them there. Or if you want to be called on to ask a question later, when we open it up for questions, then feel free to direct message me your question as well. But again, we're so happy that you're here and that we're able to connect as a community together. So with that, I'd love to introduce you to the founder and CEO of Unplug, the Yalof Schwartz.
Hello, hello. I am so happy to see everyone, and I'm very excited about our first ever live coaching call in 2023. We have an incredible lineup planned out today, and I see you, Shanti. I'm excited to see your face on here. And whoever wants to show their faces, that would be great. I am thrilled that I'm here with Jelena, who helps me do everything in Unplug, and we're going to be talking about a lot of things. I want to start with one simple question, and that is, how do you wake up in the morning? Are you in a good mood or are you in a bad mood? Because I have a friend, her name is Amy, and every morning she pretty much wakes up in a horrible mood. She feels stressed, she feels anxious, she is worried about all the things that she has to do. And she came to me and she asked me, what can I do? And I said, well, tell me a little bit about what you're doing in the morning. And she said, well, I wake up, I open up my phone, I check my emails. I'm like, stop. You're doing it all wrong right there. You're allowing someone else to control your day. The second that you open up your email, the second that you open up the news, you are giving permission for someone else, you don't even know who that's going to be, to come into your brain and affect your mood potentially negatively. And when that happens, science has proven that it can ruin your entire day. I mean, there's a scientific study out that shows you that what you consume mentally can ruin and affect your entire day. I want to tell you first a little bit about what my morning looked like this morning. And this was just today. So I wake up first thing in the morning and I open up the Unplug app. And today's message of the day was, yes, you can, which already put me in a good mood. I can do this. Then I went to the Unplug challenge and it is day, I think 11. And I went to Ben Decker and it was a think big meditation. I don't know if any of you are doing the challenge with me, but I clicked on that and I literally saw my life's purpose. I knew how I wanted to feel today. I felt centered. I felt grounded, and it has put me in the best mood. One of the questions that I got from someone, I can't remember who, and I'm going to go through everybody's questions today, was, how are you so positive and so light? And how are you mostly in a good mood all the time? And I have to credit the fact that I meditate every single morning. There's no negotiation. You can't pay me to get out of bed without meditating. I'm just not going to do it. Because when I don't meditate, everyone else around me feels it. So before we get into it, I would love to kind of hear where you're coming from. If you could put into the chat, where are you located? Would love to hear. Oh, wow, we have a nice, great group. Where are you coming from? If you could put it in the chat, that would be amazing. Virginia, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Massachusetts, Brooklyn, Nigeria. That's amazing. Brentwood, Westchester, Atlanta, Jamaica. Wow. Okay. This is absolutely incredible. And more importantly, how do you want to feel at the end of this call? Just put in one word. Set an intention for today. Oh, I see your baby. Shanti, so cute. Peaceful, motivated, refreshed, inspired, fabulous, calm. Okay, we can get you to all of those places. And the way to do that, honestly, for yourself when I'm not here, is to just set the intention. One of our teachers, and it's on the Unplug app also, named Sarah Ivanhoe, has a meditation called, I forgot what it's called actually, but we should know, where she talks about sankalpa, which is intention setting. And a lot of people think about intention setting as creating a to-do list of what they want to do, but it's not really that when it comes to meditating. Sankalpa means, your to-be list, your intention of how you want to be. So setting the intention of how you want to be instead of what you want to do is going to change not only your day, but everyone else's day around you. So I want to take a look at all of your faces. I'm so excited to see you. Let me just put you in gallery mode. And if you can put your cameras on, it's really cool because this is about the Unplug app community and meeting people who are doing this with us. I don't want this to be just an app that you click on and you don't feel connected to other people. It is so much more than that. And that's why I decided to do these live coaching calls, because I actually want to hang out with you and meet you. All right, I want to talk about someone who is about, you don't have to turn on your camera if you don't feel comfortable, but if you do, I absolutely love it. And I see some of our teacher trainees here. Hi, Olivia. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Lisa. We've got a great group here, and you're going to be hearing stories from some people about how they crush their meditation practice. But I have a special guest coming today, and I met her right when I opened up Unplug Meditation. And she walked in literally off the street. And obviously, there had never been a meditation studio on the planet before Unplug. And she had heard about it. She was a certified Chopra meditation instructor. And she walked in and I met her and I absolutely fell in love with her. She's one of my favorite teachers at the studio. She has the most incredible story, which she's going to be sharing with you. She's going to guide you in a very short meditation. And she also introduced me to David G because she saw his book on my bookshelf, introduced me to him, and that's who leads our teacher training program. So is Megan Monahan on? Juliana, do you see Megan?
Hi.
Hello, Megan.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Meet the crew. One of your big fans is on here, Lisa Brown. Wave to Megan.
What's going on, guys? Hey, Lisa. It's good to see you all. I'm just like scrolling through these lovely faces. What's up, everyone? As much as I'm quite used to talking to my own face, it's nice when everyone has their camera on and I can like say what's up. What's up, Shay? Yeah, I'm so excited to be on here. Thanks for having me. Do you want me to dive in?
Yeah, I wanted you to share your story of how you came to Unplug and why, and how this practice has impacted your life. And then you're going to guide a little meditation.
Yeah, for sure. I do also it's such a, it is, as you were mentioning, obviously David G has been in my life since I started meditating because he is the person that literally taught me how to meditate at the time, Deepak Chopra's wellness center down in San Diego. So it is always like such a fun thing when I get to drop into Unplugged teacher training land that he is guiding. And so there's lots of synchronicities and lots of like through lines and really like depth that I feel around all of this, just because he is, as I said, like the origin story that I connect with for my practice as well. So I started meditating in 2009. It was not a hashtag. It was not a multi-billion-dollar business. It was still very kind of out there. There wasn't a cultural footprint that meditation had in this world, so much so that when my therapist at the time recommended that I start meditating and learning how to meditate because of stress in my life and truly just the physical symptoms that I was having as a result of some imbalances in my life, imbalances in my body, certainly, as it was dealing with kind of an avalanche of stress, things that were unraveling in my life, in my relationships, that all just became very overwhelming. And my therapist said, you really need to learn how to manage your stress better because you're not doing well. So much so that I always joke, I had to get my gallbladder taken out when I was like 22 from gallstones from stress. And when you start to lose non-vital organs, it's not a sign that things are going well. It's not a sign that you are like gracefully and with resilience handling the ebbs and flows of your life. So I kind of started to explore what it looked like to learn to meditate. And when I say that it wasn't a thing, that it didn't have a presence in culture, in society, so much so that when I started exploring opportunities to learn to meditate, I Googled wellness. I didn't even look up how do you meditate or where can I learn to meditate? I literally just Googled wellness, Southern California. I was living in LA at the time, and that sent me down to Deepak Chopra's wellness center in San Diego. I went down there for a day and kind of dipped my toe in. I did like a free class. I took a medical consultation with one of their kind of East meets West medical practitioners, just to sort of see if it resonated and if it felt like it was going to be a good access point to what I was looking for and the healing that I was seeking. And I loved it. And so I took a massive leap of faith and put a retreat on a credit card and spent a week down there, not that long after I'd visited for the first time, and learned to meditate and meditated every day, twice a day. I practiced yoga. I did a cleanse called Panchakarma, traditionally an Indian-based 5-day cleanse, which was very intense, and spent really just a week relearning how to look at the idea of total well-being, which is certainly at your mental body. Meditation shows up as a massive tool at your physical body, learning about how to have a relationship with your physical balance, and then certainly access to a spiritual center. So kind of every level of your multidimensional being was addressed, and I was hooked. And after that week, I did another retreat not that long after that really dealt with stored emotional toxicity, kind of metabolizing and letting go at that level. So much we know now, scientifically backed, so much of our undigested emotional, whether that's trauma, whether that's just an overwhelming sense of an experience that we have, gets stored in the body. There's that great book, The Body Keeps the Score. All of the somatic healing that you see is really all about letting go at that physical level, because if you're not able to metabolize, whether it's through a daily meditation practice and letting go of the day energetically, whether it's through somatic shaking, if you're not doing something regularly to kind of clear off the table at the end of the day, that stuff does overload you. So I did a whole program around that. And within a year, I had quit my job in the music industry and I was working there. That's a longer story, a very synchronistic. I kind of just let go and really aligned with what I wanted, which was an opportunity to teach people how to transform their lives the way that mine had been transformed. I was young enough and I didn't know quite enough to know how scary it was to quit your job without any future prospects, without any experience in wellness. But ultimately, I always say this when I talk about manifestation, if you are really clear about what that underlying why is, and you are open and in a space of trust and surrender, if you're not attached to all of the specifics of what it ends up looking like, and you are just really clear on that why, which for me was, again, wanting to help people transform their lives the way mine had been transformed, the universe really can pick you up and drop you in the best possible version of that. It's one of the biggest things that a meditation practice has really given me, that sense of trust and that sense of safety in surrender. And it has led to remarkable things that don't make sense on paper, but that are really aligned with what that deepest why is. And obviously that changes throughout your life. And that was almost 13 years ago now. So it's been quite a journey since, working there and becoming a teacher underneath Deepak there, and working with David G and having access to, the most amazing spiritual thought leaders of our time. I ended up leaving there in another total active surrender leap of faith, moving back to LA. And that's when I found Unplug, which was almost what, like 6 years ago now, right?
Almost 9.
Oh, good. 9. Let's not do the math.
Almost 9.
Let's not do the math. We don't need to add that up. Yeah. So almost 9 years ago. And yes, I did literally walk in off the street. Somebody said, "Oh, do you know there's this meditation space opening?" And I said, "No." And I went over there and I said, "Just, if you're looking for teachers, I'm here and I teach. So maybe I should teach here." And that was 9 years ago, apparently.
And I said, "You're hired." And I have to say, it was the best decision of all time. I didn't even mention Megan's book, which is Don't Hate, Meditate. And she's not only worked with me, but she's traveled all over the globe now. And she's just an incredible, incredible teacher.
Thanks.
So speaking of which, we have time for a little quickie meditation.
Yeah, let's do it. And if anyone has questions, I know I'm only in here for a short time today, but if anyone has questions, know that I'm more than happy to connect with you about my journey. Or if you're like, "Well, what if this doesn't, and I'm always happy to connect. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me.
And you can find you on Instagram at Megan Monahan.
It's at Meg. I'll put it in here. There's another Megan Monahan. Can you believe it? The audacity, the most basic.
So feel free to ask her questions there and she will respond to you. She's amazing.
Yeah. Spiritually slide into my DMs anytime and I will connect with you about all of the things. All right, loves. So let's, I will be very good with time. I will be in integrity with timing. So let yourself go in terms of thinking about how long it's going, and trust that I'm creating a space for you to completely surrender. If it feels comfortable, go ahead and join me in gently closing your eyes. And then just take a few deeper than normal breaths, long, slow inhales, in through your nose, open mouth, audible exhales. Don't be afraid to allow that exhale to be a little dramatic, a little indulgent even. Relish that breath for a moment here. Taking a few more breaths here. Letting each inhale more and more anchor you into this present moment, into the physical environment that you're in, into this moment in time, into your physical body. And just give yourself that permission to be here for just a couple of minutes. Let go of the things that exist outside of this container. Give yourself permission to stop being productive for just a moment. There's nothing to do except exist. If you haven't already, allow that breath to begin to move really effortlessly in and out through your nose. And then resting your awareness on the sensation of that inhale and exhale. And as you inhale, begin to offer a silent thank you. As you breathe in, silently repeat, thank you. Every single breath you take is a reminder that you are infinitely supported by the universe, that your existence, that your literal life is being provided for. And so tapping into that mindset, that frequency of abundance, with that thank you, for just the next few moments here. Breathing that in, trusting that that same force that is offering you that breath of life is also supporting you in the manifestation of every single desire you acknowledge and empower. With all that in mind, take a long, slow, deep breath in. Sigh everything out. One more long, slow, deep breath in. Pause at the top of that breath. And connect with how you would feel if you really believed that everything that you needed was there, was being provided for. And with that energy of relief, exhale out. And let that breath deepen, carrying you back fully into your body, into this moment. And when you're ready, allowing your eyes to float open gently.
I love meditating with you, Megan.
Oh, thanks.
It just feels so good. And I'm really excited that you got to meditate with Megan live, because it's been a while since I've been live with you. So I love this. Thank you for being here. We have a big agenda today, and we are going to go on to ask. And I would love for you to stay if you have time. If you have to race off, we understand. But again, for those of you who'd like to connect directly with Megan, you can find her on Instagram at Meg Monahan. Is in the chat, and please feel free to connect with her or come to her class at Unplug or meditate with her on the app.
You guys are awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay, next we're going to be asking you a couple questions, and Jalena's going to post the first one. It's a poll, and we'd love for you to all answer the poll so you can kind of connect and see how everybody's doing. So Jalena, let's post the first one. Where is your happy place? And after you tell me where it is, I'm going to tell you why it's important to understand it. So hopefully we'll get total participation. Where is your happy place? Wow. Amazing. Okay, let's talk about that. We're about to share with you where your happy place is. You're going to put it on the poll. Where did they find the poll, Jelena? It just popped up, right?
Hopefully.
Okay, hopefully. We got a couple more people to add in where their happy place is on the poll if you see it. And we can end the poll and share it.
Ready?
Yep. Ready for the big reveal? So 35% of you, your happy place is at the beach. 15 is the forest, and 24 is the mountains. 18 is their bed. I love that.
Can you see it?
Can everybody see it?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. The most important thing about knowing where your happy place is because at any point in time, if you are ever feeling unhappy, closing your eyes and visualizing yourself inside of your happy place is the best way to go from sadness to get happy quick. And sometimes we have to be happy when we're not actually happy. So this is a tool that I use all the time, and you'll see a lot of it in the Unplug app. And we're going to just ask you one more question, Jelena. The next question is, what topic on the Unplug app are you most interested in? Sleep, stress and anxiety, happiness and positivity, work and productivity, sound healing, hypnosis, healthy eating and exercise, or the unique and unusual meditations, which is, shamanic healing, crystal healing, chakras, sound bath, all of that. Oh wait, sound healing is on its own thing. All of that fun stuff that you might not even know that we have on the Unplug app. We're interested to know how you're using it or what your favorite topic is. I know it's hard to just pick one. Okay. We're getting close. All right. we can share that at the end, and we can share with everybody at the end. So next up, I'm really excited to introduce you because I want this to be a community building coaching call, and then we're going to be answering a lot of questions. But I want you to meet someone who actually found Unplug while she was in Jamaica. And I was fortunate enough to actually connect with her and see her in Jamaica. And I wanted her to share the story that she shared with me, with you. So I want to welcome Sharon Feeney. You have to unmute, Sharon.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. This is amazing. And hello to all of my fellow Unplug meditators, just the teacher training. I'm a very proud meditation instructor through Unplug. So yes, I'm a yoga teacher here in Jamaica. I've been teaching yoga and wellness and nutrition here in Jamaica for 30 years. That tells you a lot. And last year, and so back up a little bit, I love apps. I mean, I don't get access to beautiful meditation studios or even yoga studios here. So I use a lot of apps, and Unplug was one of them that I had in my toolbox. But last year, 2021, somewhere around, last year was 2022, somewhere in 2021 at the end, I started going through an incredible bout of stress and anxiety, which led to panic attacks. So like Megan said, you know, I also had a mystery illness. I could not find out what it was. So that was stressing me out. Of course, it was COVID. Of course, there was me now transitioning from yoga teacher to online teacher, which was, you know, just nonstop during COVID. So it was a combination of a medical issue, way too much time on Zoom. I don't think it's so good for you. And being just completely burnt out. And for the first time in my life, as a yoga teacher, I had literal panic attacks where I couldn't get on a plane, that kind of thing. And I got stuck in Miami because I literally could not come home. And I went one night, the first thing that started happening is I couldn't sleep. And I just started searching all my apps, give me some sleep meditations, help me, dear God, to sleep. And I went to Unplug and I'm like, oh, you know, they have a whole thing on sleep here. And of course, I heard the first time I actually got sleep in like 5 days was Amy Budden's voice. That sleep meditation is incredible if you haven't tried it. And I went from her to Ben Decker, of course, to David G, to Megan, to Shannon Allegro, to just working myself first through getting sleep. And then I went through, I think, every single stress and anxiety meditation that I could do. I did some, I'm sure I put a world record on there, like 300 meditations in 2 weeks. I literally saved my life with the app. So I just started to go deeper, and I think the app has been by my side every single day. Decided to become certified with Unplug. But I've turned so many people on to this program. It's so encompassing. I love the way that it's so multidimensional with sleep and stress, and then, you know, going a little bit out on the edges with sound bath and chakra healings, and then meeting Suze, feeling like, you know, that I have met an old dear soul and dear friend, and the same way I met all the other teachers on the meditation teacher training. So complete fan. And I've started my own meditation course. I'm starting my own yoga and meditation app this year here in Jamaica. And I've already incorporated so much of the teachings into my life. And my plan is to share as much, get as many people in Jamaica to meditate as I possibly can in 2023. So thank you very much.
Well, I'm so excited you were here. Thank you so much. And another strange thing that Sharon's doing is she's doing a mushroom retreat in Jamaica. I don't know if any of you are interested in that, but she is definitely doing that. Sharon, if you want to put your URL in there, that would be great. How people can connect with you on Instagram in the chat. That would be amazing. Thank you for sharing your story. I really appreciate that. And I want to add someone else's story. So I was very fortunate to be in New York City last week, and I got to meet our app user who is beating me in more consistent days than myself. I'm at like 640 or 642, but this woman is actually at 1,000, I guess, plus consistent days on the Unplug app. That is dedication. So I wanted her to kind of speak and tell us a little bit how she got there, and how she's just has been so incredibly consistent. And I want to introduce Lisa Brown.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I'm fangirling because Megan's here. So
I did that for you, by the way.
I know. So I wasn't prepared, and I'm a little bit nervous. And Sharon, I have gone to bed with Amy, don't tell my husband, for 3 years consecutively, have not missed a night, and I sleep well because of her, and she knows because I've messaged her. But for those of you who don't know my story, I had a wealth of medical drama. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I've had a multitude of autoimmune diseases, and really obviously just didn't know how to look after myself very well. And in 3 years ago, a friend, she suggested Unplug. She had heard about it through a story on Instagram, and I'm always up for a challenge. So I said, okay, why not? I also knew that it takes at least 66 days to build a habit. And so I made myself a promise that I would at least do it for 66 days, whether I thought it was doing anything or not. I was going to commit to it. And day one, started to meditate, really quick one. I wish I could remember which one it was. It was 3 minutes. I cried and I was hooked. I didn't even need to be talked into the 66 days because I just knew it was for me. And I haven't missed a day since. I meditate 3 times a day now because it works. And my whole life is profoundly better and richer, and I'm more fulfilled. I'm a better friend. I'm a better wife. I'm definitely a better mother because of it. And unlike meditation, where we should be all nice and chill, I do want to scream it from the rooftops. And I know everybody has to come to it in their own time, but sometimes I just am in situations going, you need to meditate. You need to meditate. How can I get you to meditate? Because it is just so powerful. And that is because of Suze and David G and the great teachers that they have hired. There's just something for everybody. And so it's not even that I think about, how many days in a row. It is truly because it works. And because I love those moments of the day, whether it's 10 or 15 or 20. Sometimes if it wasn't enough, because I'll pick the one of the day or the, challenge that they have going on, I'll do another one or one after that because they're just so good. So I wouldn't know what to do without it. I take it with me wherever I go. I teach now 2 to 3 times a week. Actually, I'm going to be starting teaching 5 days a week soon. And I do that with confidence. And that's because of Unplug. And also because in those moments of stillness and silence, and when I'm just, by myself, I can build that confidence. I can use the tools that I got through meditation and take it out into my everyday life. So I heart you, Suze. All of you. It's just, and I want to say hi to Ina. I see her name there. Is she there, Suze?
She is.
Hi, Ina. Hi, love you. So no, I'm just so grateful I'm grateful to the friend that challenged me. I don't want to tell you that we're not really good friends. That's another thing that's happened through meditation, is that you really have clarity of who you want in your life and, get rid of those things that do not serve you. But I'm grateful to her for sending me in this direction. I wouldn't change anything about it. And I'm healthy. So there you go.
That's the most important thing. And it's so interesting because we really do have a lot of cancer patients who use the Unplug app. In fact, the Unplug app is inside the Larry Ellison Cancer Institute in Los Angeles. And they use it for all of their patients there. And it's also inside the UCLA Pain Center, where they actually send their patients to us. So meditation really can help with pain and with
Yeah.
how you respond to it. And we know that stress is something that is not good for cancer. It's not good for a lot of things, but especially cancer. So if you know anyone suffering from cancer, this can help.
And it's true, because I just did this autoimmune summit, and they asked me to be the meditation expert, which God knows how that happened. And my part was about managing the stress while you're going through autoimmune. Stress is a big factor of even developing autoimmune diseases. And then I've had chronic pain for 30 years, but I can manage it so much better now. I wish that these tools had been presented to me years ago. I wish that I was Megan and it was 2009. It came to me later, but at least it's here.
Wow.
So that's what I tell people all the time. And people through the summit came to me yesterday and said, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed. So then I send them to you.
Well, I feel really grateful that I see both you and Sharon and Shanti, who did our teacher training, and Jeline, who did our teacher training. And that's amazing that all of you have done this and you're actually now teaching. And I even see someone from Condé Nast. Beth, hello, welcome. So excited that you're here. And we're really excited to be a partner with Condé Nast because their clients, their employees are using the Unplug app to help combat stress in the workplace and just kind of find peace and calm in their everyday life. Okay. I have so many questions from all of you, and I am going to power through them and answer them all. But if any of you would like to speak, feel free to raise your hand and ask a question, because this is a community building class and we really want others to connect with each other and for you to feel connected with the people who are doing the same thing you are, because can I tell you, meditators are my favorite kind of people. I have really never met a meditator that I didn't like. Okay. If there is anyone with a question, if you want to raise your hand, otherwise I will be trying to power through these for the next few minutes. Are you ready? Great. So the first one is, any tips for ensuring you pulling away to unplug and recharging, especially when working on a tight deadline? Yes. Okay. We just launched something amazing. Besides the fact that you can meditate on the Unplug app, and there's a whole section for work breaks, I highly recommend that you should just stop what you're doing at any point in time where you feel stressed or you can't focus, and meditate under the work break section in the topics. But also, I just launched foam rolling, and yesterday I did my first one with Lauren, and it was phenomenal. I literally set up, and I'm going to show you all a section right here. I have a mat in my office. I've got the foam roller, and I just play it on the app. It took me 7 minutes and I felt phenomenal. So take that time. You will not believe it. As you are an inspiration, what is your morning routine in order to handle everything with such wonderful energy and positivity? My morning routine is to wake up and meditate and not take a vote. Believe me, there's times when I don't want to meditate. I want to get up and go. That's my DNA. But I stop myself and I just do the meditation of the day. And then I always am grateful that I did. And then I get out of bed and start my day. I also feed myself something healthy first thing in the morning so that I know that I have a green smoothie and I get that in. And then I really set an intention, as I mentioned before, how I want to be. And then I try to be that way. And whenever I feel myself not being that way, because my spiritual challenge is that I'm the most impatient person on the planet, is I will stop myself and start to meditate. That's how I do it. Okay. Can everyone learn to meditate, or are some people truly not able? If you can breathe, you can meditate. There is no one on the planet who's incapable of meditation. People think that they can't meditate because they think too much. They have too many thoughts, so they think they're doing it wrong. But meditation is really just a dance between your mind wandering and you coming back to the present moment and being aware that you're present in the present moment. Anyone can do this, and you definitely don't need a college degree to be able to do this. Can meditation help with depression? 100% it can. What most people and teachers will tell us is that when you go to gratitude, you think about things that you're grateful for, it's hard to feel grateful and depressed at the exact same moment. Just like it is hard to be stressed and count your breath at the same moment. So there are ways to go from, well, I'm talking about situational depression. I'm not a firm believer in medication too. If people need medication, 100% use it, but meditation will definitely help. Okay, and that has been scientifically proven. Designed for meditation. Okay. Do you have any tips for using meditation to help manage depression? Yes, go to gratitude. Does guided meditation visualization really count? 100%. Why wouldn't it? And then a lot of people say, if I'm thinking and I'm visualizing, am I really meditating? Yes, you are. There are several different types of meditation. In fact, Olivia Rosewood said, there are more ways to meditate than there are to make an egg, and she loves all of them. And I have to agree, I feel the exact same way. I'm someone who likes to try a lot of different things. Guided visualization is a great way to listen to your own voice and discover what you actually want. If you have not gone to the guided visualization section on the Unplug app, I highly recommend that. How do I get more out of my meditation practice? I feel as though I'm having trouble reaching the next level, as well as going into deep meditation. What can I work on better to better my approach my experience? Okay, this is one of my favorite things, and that is Steve Ross and David G. both told me that the way to experience a deeper meditation is to just sit in stillness and silence for longer periods of time. So Steve Ross actually made a joke where he said, you know, he was going to sit on the stage, lead a class, go out for dinner for an hour, and then come back. And everybody would have a deep experience. So what we designed was these 10-minute meditations that you can feel successful and be able to accomplish every single day, even though there are longer ones on the app. And then sit in stillness and silence afterwards. Maybe go to the timer and just play the music and not be guided, and just sit in stillness and silence with yourself. And that is how you get to deeper meditation. But short meditations are just as effective. How do I get the most out of the app? Meditation's needed for days, don't want to get out of bed. And for one, this is hard. More tapping, more sound bath, more pain relief. How do I get more out of the app? You know how to get more out of the app? In the topic section, check out the how to use this app. Most people cannot go through that entire video. How long is that video, Jelena? Like
5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
It's 5 or 6 minutes of me going through every single feature on the Unplug app. I see that kindly share your app link. I lost connection with Unplug. Okay, how can you align? Actually, I like that question. Where's Giselle? Hello, Giselle. How can you align with your higher self? Go into the search bar and search higher self, and you will see so many higher self meditations in there. You will certainly be able to align with it. Okay, we have a lot more, but I promise I'll make them really quick. This is kind of what we do at teacher training too, just so you know, as we go through all these questions so quickly. What are the best meditations to calm a racing heart? Thank you in advance. There are so many meditations. Honestly, if you search calm, all of those meditations are meant to calm a racing heart. But the quickest, easiest way for you to do it is to do the box breath. Because when you're stressed and your heart is going very fast and you slow down your breath, you slow down your heart rate. It's very simple. So the box breath, for those of you who don't know it, is just breathing in through your nose to the count of 4, holding your breath for 4 seconds, audible exhale out for 4 seconds, and holding your breath for 4 seconds. It's kind of in the shape of a box. And that is the magic trick. Just do that often until you notice that your heart rate is slowing. Okay. What advice could you give for a healthy work-life balance for people that work from home or remotely? Honestly, it's very hard. it's very, very hard to separate work and home when you work from home. So when I was working from home, and as you can see, I'm actually at the Unplug office, and I don't like working from home at all. I used to basically go into a separate area, and that area I would not go back to until I was working. And I would actually say goodbye and close the door of that room. Now, if you can't do that, maybe you do a sun salutation at the end, or maybe you do 50 sit-ups before you go in and 50 sit-ups to end it. So bookending your day is a great way to do that. But if you are going to you need to have a digital sunset. Have you heard of digital sunsets before? A digital sunset is when you actually turn off your phone. And at the minimum, you should be doing this 1 hour before you go to sleep so that you can sleep better. But if you could actually close your computer and turn off your phone at 6 p.m., you will feel a separation between work and life. It's the computer and the phones that are making us feel so connected. So that would be my advice. And as David G says, you want to bookend your days. So you want to do the morning meditation, which is right before you go to work, and you want to do raw right after work, RAW, the raw meditation. And that you can find, usually he says to do it anywhere between 4:30 and 6:30. And you can bookend your day like that with meditation and feel that separation. Okay, I have 2 more minutes to get through everything. What is the most effective sleep meditation? If it was Camilla Sacred Dollar up talking, she would say Andrew Clark's. If it was other people talking, they would say Amy Budden's for serious sleep. I mean, it really is your preference, and you're going to have to try them, but so many of them have so many reviews, and you can read them when you click the See All button underneath each video. What places and spaces do you think would benefit from meditation? Well, I do think that all companies should provide meditation for all of their employees, because employees do not want to tell their employers about their personal problems a lot of the time, but we all have them. We're all glitched, myself included. Raise your hand if you're glitched, if you have some personal problems. Yeah, we all do, right? Okay, we're together on this. But you don't want to tell your boss, hey, I'm feeling this way. So how great is it to be able to provide a tool that you can use? So I definitely feel like that's what companies should be doing. When is the next time you're offering the ability to become an Unplug certified meditation teacher? It's actually coming up in, what's the date, Jelena?
March 13th, it starts.
Yep, March 13th. And as we like to say, when you love something so much, you want to go pro. I don't know about you, but I was not a meditation person before I started Unplug. I worked in fashion. I actually worked at Condé Nast at Glamour magazine for 14 and a half years. And then I found meditation, and I realized I don't have to be stressed. I can control my own emotions. Other people aren't responsible for how I feel. And once I discovered that, there was no going back. And then I went all in. I was like Megan. I tried every single class and everything. This is another. Will there be sleep music like Suze's 45-minute meditation in the advanced category and deeper? Okay. A lot of people don't know that if you just go to the toolbar, there is all this music there that's waiting for you to discover it, where you can just listen to it and be in silence and go to sleep to it. There's even a sleep binaural beats in there. Highly recommend that. What's your favorite meditation or breathing exercise to go to sleep? Body scan, without a doubt. That is when, for those of you who don't know what a body scan is, it's literally when you go from your toes all the way up to the top of your head. And then you go down and you kind of focus on each area of your body and you relax it. The other way, the easy way to do that is to tense and release. So if you can see me, I'm tensing. Try this with me, all of you. Okay, let's take your hands like this and tense them up and tense your face. And now drop your shoulders, drop your arms, relax your face. It's just such a great way. And you can do that with every part of your body, tense and release. And by the end, you'll go to sleep. My other great tip is to try to count from 100 backwards. And if you miss a number, you have to start all over again. And by the end, you can. Or read a boring book. Or, of course, meditate on the Unplug app. I've listened to Amy Budden's meditation and I still don't know how it ends because I'm always falling asleep. Okay. So, Jelena, did I miss any questions here?
Just reading the chat.
On the other
asking about where to find the reminder prompt within the app. So if you go to your profile in the app and then you click the little gear icon, you can pull up the settings and there's a setting for meditation reminders. You can set as many as you want with a custom message as well. So you can set one in the morning, set one in the middle of the day, evening, however many you want. So that's in the settings.
I'm going to show you really quick.
There you go.
So as you can see,
Megan.
There's Megan. She's the meditation of the day. Yay. Okay. So as you can see, if I click on my face, it takes me to the profile. Okay. And if I click on the gear icon, it'll give me all of these options. So I can remind myself to meditate, customize my today page, set my goals. I can even sync Unplug with the calendar. So that on my calendar, I have not only the meditation, but the one that I want. Yeah. There's so many things on here. Oh, and for those of you who have not seen this, this is the foam rolling challenge. Every single month we do a monthly challenge. And as I mentioned to you before, this is how I meditate. I don't choose. I just go day by day by day on this challenge. So Ben was 11. It's okay to think big. And then when I go back to the homepage, this is the new foam rolling challenge, which is phenomenal. So I highly recommend it. If you don't have a foam roller, hers is the best, but you can really get a foam roller anywhere. Okay. So let me go back one quick sec. I want to open it up to the audience here, and I would love to hear from you. I don't know if Sharon MC is open to talk. Are you an Unplug meditator?
I am. I'm usually going live as opposed to using the app. So I used to live in LA. I used to work right down the street from you guys when you opened up the first time, and then I left, and then the pandemic happened, and I got you back. So, yay! Happy. It's nice to have all the faces also on the app and that they're there. So
they're there for you anytime you need them. And that's kind of how I think of the app, is like having my best friends in my pocket all the time. And Shanti, but I know I always pronounce your name wrong. Can you pronounce your name properly and correct me again?
Shantae.
Shantae.
There's an accent over the E.
This is what I need to remember. Okay,
Yeah.
Shantae, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm happy to see your face.
Yeah, I'm happy to see everyone too. I'm glad I was able to make it this time.
I think you were the meditation of the day yesterday, Shantae.
I was the meditation of the day yesterday? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
I think it was Invitation to Joy.
Oh, nice. I think
So Shantae took our Unplug meditation teacher training program, and she actually had a newborn baby. So she cropped herself like this, and the baby was on her lap for the entire time. That was pretty amazing. So happy to see you. Allison, I see you over there in the dark. Would love to say hi. Do you want to say a quick hello? Where are you based right now?
What's that?
Are you an Unplug meditation app user, or your studio?
Yes.
Great.
No, at home. I use it every morning. It's kind of funny. You said like that's your first thing to do, and it's as it is for me. And the other day I did not, because I just got up and I had other things, and I'm like, I'm forgetting something, and then I'm like, I didn't meditate. It's like, how could I forget? So it was definitely like hit me, I'm like, all right, this, I have to, I'm the same way. Like if I don't do it, I feel like something's missing, like I lost a limb or something. Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny when I don't do it, my children notice it.
Yeah.
They're like, did you meditate today, Mom?
That's so
I don't
funny.
like when they say
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
I don't miss it anymore after they call that out. So I love that. Love that. Mary Williams would love to say hi.
Hey there. Thanks for sending out the reminders. And this has been really inspiring. I'm in Brentwood, nearby, right around the corner. I used to drive my son to Paul Revere, and we sat at the intersection of Wilshire and Sentinel, and I used to, see the studio. So, I use the app. I come into the studio, and I'm a huge fan of David G. I hadn't really crossed paths with Meg. I'm looking forward to that, and I love hearing about Amy's sleep meditation. So it sounds pretty amazing. So, and I just shared it with my sister who has Parkinson's disease, and she has a tough time sleeping. And so I'm hoping that she'll jump on board and give it a try.
Yeah, I hope that helps. I'd love to hear about that. So please keep me posted on that. Also,
sorry, just the whole wellness thing I'm really inspired about too. And what Meg shared, that was awesome, because I'm on I have gallstones right now, so I'm on a similar kind of path.
Yes, well, maybe level up your meditation. Don't let stress get you down. So I forgot what I was going to say.
About Parkinson's, maybe?
Oh, yes. No, it wasn't about Parkinson's. It was about the Unplug App Awards. So you were telling me how you were excited to hear about Amy Buttons, but check out the Unplug App Awards section in the topics, because those are the ones that won awards from all of our users as their favorite for the year. So you can kind of find some great ones there if you're looking for some new material and you want to try something different. Beth, I'd love to say a quick hi. How are you?
Thank you for partnering with our company. There's a few of us on here. We have this app for free through you. So thank you.
We're so happy that all of you are using it. And we would love for you to share it with everybody inside so we could get full engagement. We would love everybody at Condé Nast. I definitely wish that everybody used it when I was working at Condé Nast. But it definitely makes people happier and definitely more calm. Is that Catalina, our Catalina? Can you, I can't hear you.
It is Catalina from Amsterdam, from the Netherlands.
My goodness, hello, welcome.
Missing you guys. And I just wanted to add to this that that homey feeling that the physical studio has. I miss you guys, by the way, a lot. So I'm looking forward to coming next time and visit the studio. But I feel that both the physical place and the app gives us a homey feeling. It feels I have arrived, I'm home. And I have my practices, my individual practices. I go a lot on the intuition. So I'm fortunate to have access to the Unplug, and I am called when to follow a meditation from Unplug. And there are numerous people and I go again with intuition because I know that I will get the right one. And I think that many people have wonderful meditation. I still love David G's very much for me. And there is another lady, I cannot remember the name now. It's like I have a blackout. It's the lady with hypnotic voice, Asian.
Shirley Suleiman.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I just love her. But I have lots of respect for everybody, for the effort, for the love. And it's a wonderful app. And I am an executive coach. And I also help them with meditation. And I gave them to all. It's by far my favorite meditation app. So in my world, I'm sharing it. So thank you so much for bringing this into the world. I miss you guys.
Oh, I miss you too. And Catalina actually was one of, in the beginning, came to the
2018, yeah.
2018 Unplug Meditation Teacher Trainee, and she actually did it in the studio. So yes. We are now at 1 o'clock, and I'd like to stay on time. I want to thank everyone so much for showing up for our first live 2023 coaching call. We're going to be doing this every single month. And the reason why is because we want you to be asking us questions. We want to help you find what you actually need. Like, I want to be able to say to you, Mary, if you say to me, I need a meditation specifically because I want to meditate with my dog, I want to be able to say, you know what? Try Heather Hayward's Meditating with a Pet meditation, because we really have a meditation for absolutely everything. And I want you to discover it and find it and make it your own. And one of the beautiful things that most people don't know about the Unplug app, and it's a sneaky little thing, is that you can share it by just when you end your video, if you see a video and you'll see that share button, if you share that meditation with someone whose birthday it is, because we have birthday meditations, or someone who is, feeling overwhelmed, so you send them the overwhelmed meditation, they'll be able to do that one meditation free. And you will be able to show that you care by actually giving them something that's going to help their lives. Because people don't want stuff. They want guidance. They want help. And they want you being present and feeling heard and seen. So that's all I have to say. I want to thank Jelena so much for making this happen. Lisa, Sharon, Megan for coming on today. I really appreciate your sharing your stories. And thank you all so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And we will see you next month. And I hope that you're all here again. Let's continue this. Bye.